What if I told you that most people are employed today not because AI or automation can't take their jobs, but instead because of emotional reasons? CGP Grey created an amazing video that was released on August 13th, 2014, called Humans Need Not Apply, where he covers why automation is going to take over. Almost 9 years later, why are so many of us still employed? One of the things I've often used in my conversations with people is one of his first examples. How agriculture no longer takes nearly 90% of our population to feed us all. There is this expectation that as technology gets better at performing labor tasks, we'd see unemployment rise because how could we really make a meaningful difference for companies? In his video, he covers both mechanical muscles and mechanical minds, but I feel like since the video was released, we haven't seen the advancement that it seemed to propose. On January 22nd, 2015, Tim Urban released the first in a two-part article called The AI Revolution: The Road to Superintelligence, where he often shows how we're likely standing at the edge of an insane transformation that will change the world at a rate and scale we can't easily comprehend. Neither of these brilliant people are wrong. We are seeing AI start to change things quickly as large language models are integrated into every piece of software we all use. But even if the exponential curve happens and AI gets smarter and smarter, what will that mean for employment? I think that one aspect of the whole discussion that is missed is that the wealthy are wealthy because people have enough money to buy their goods or services. Sure, every corporation wants to be as efficient as possible, make as much money as possible, but it is currently in their best interest, especially in this capitalist system, to make sure enough people are employed and somewhat happy so as to not revolt. There's a joke on Reddit called Eat the Rich, which basically reminds people that if they're hungry or struggling, it's due to the wealthy taking more than their fair share, and that by eating them, this could cause positive change. I'm not saying we should eat the rich. Please don't eat anyone. But I am saying that there is an undertone of revolution that exists, and when things tip to the point that there is more suffering than fear, then they become more inclined to fight for what they believe they deserve. So it wouldn't surprise me to find out that keeping employment and the cost of living within a certain range is pushed strongly by the wealthiest among us, even if it doesn't always make the most sense from a corporate profit and shareholder perspective. I mean, the rich can only consume so many goods and services, and I don't think the wealthy paying the wealthy is enough of an economy to keep them all happy. I'm not a big conspiracy theory person. I typically like to work in facts as much as possible. But emotionally, doesn't some of what I've said strangely resonate with how the economy looks today? CGP Grey mentions that during the Great Depression, the unemployment rate was around 25%. But if you look at the US unemployment figures over the last 10 years, you'll see a chart showing that despite continuous improvements in automation and AI technology, the unemployment rate has dropped from 7.5% in May of 2013 to 3.7% in May of 2023. Yes, I should note that the unemployment rate shot up a great deal during part of the pandemic, but it quickly went back to its current low. If you look at the Canadian unemployment figures from 2013 to today, you'll see something very similar, though a little less pronounced, from 7.07% in 2013 to 5.21% in 2022. What's odd about this is that often when interest rates go up, you'll see a negative impact on employment rates, but in general, businesses are still hiring and hiring more than ever before. While there might be a lag effect regarding the interest rates and employment rates, if CGP Grey and Tim of Wait But Why were completely correct even without other factors, employment should be decreasing as automation and artificial intelligence technologies mature. So why aren't we seeing massive unemployment yet? Sure, in the technology space there are massive layoffs happening. If you haven't heard of the website layoffs.fyi, I highly recommend taking a look. One of the interesting pieces of data that they show is that over 200,000 employees have been laid off from tech companies so far in 2023, which is much higher than the nearly 165,000 in all of 2022. Of course, while the variability of tracking and the popularity change in the site might have something to do with how different those two numbers are, it's still a worrying number of people that have lost their jobs this year. But are these related to automation and AI, or are businesses that were in more of a bubble state now seeing a correction? Another reason why automation hasn't taken over everything is also a human answer. We don't give machines the latitude to fail. CGP Grey says that automated vehicles and software doctors don't have to be perfect, but they do have to be better than our human experiences today. But is that true? When a Tesla crashes, that's often headline news. The Washington Post states that there have been 736 crashes involving Tesla vehicles on autopilot mode since 2019, compared to around 6 million reported car crashes each year. Out of those 736 Tesla autopilot crashes, 17 of them have been fatal incidents, compared to 39,508 fatal incidents from car crashes in the US just in 2021. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is good. I'd love for us to get to the point where no one loses their life in an automobile accident ever again. My main point is that we don't see thousands of articles about every other type of vehicle crashing. We often rarely talk about humans crashing as headline news. The narrative of autopilot crashing creates fear and distrust, making it seem like the technology isn't good enough, even if it's statistically better than humans. But at the end of the day, I feel like as a society, we can more easily forgive people for making mistakes, but not machines. In my mind, it's the same reason why we have pilots and co-pilots in airplanes today. I keep hearing about how planes have so much automation that they could take off, fly, and land themselves. But I think most people would be hesitant to board a plane that was completely controlled by automation. Am I right about that? Let me know in the comments if that's not the case for you and you would love to fly in an automated plane. So what does this all mean for the future of employment? There have been experiments with 4-day work weeks where companies allow their staff to work 4 8-hour days instead of 5 without a reduction in salary. This has been shown to improve productivity on workdays and provide staff with a higher general happiness. Many people wonder how this will actually work in practice, thinking that their job can't be done in 4 days instead of 5. There are a few advantages though, as more people can be provided work, since for every 5 employees you have, you'll potentially need an extra to cover the likely distributed time off of the rest. If the 4-day workweek were to become the norm, it would be the biggest change in the work schedule since Henry Ford started offering 5-day workweeks back in 1926. I also think that companies will continue to employ humans in roles that could be replaced by automation or AI because we're so adaptable to issues and changes. Even the best robotic arms, the best vision systems, and the best code can come across situations that it's not prepared for. And while the rate of these kinds of blockers might be low, for now humans have an edge in creating positive outcomes during these events. So while people might have assumed that schools, malls, and offices would all be cleaned by things like Roombas by now, we still employ human staff because they aren't going to get hung up on a misplaced cord. Thinking about jobs that we know could potentially be automated, I think most of us can agree that employment fulfillment is dropping. A study by Leger for Hamster in May of 2022 points out that worker satisfaction is down 3% since 2021, and while I don't have the data to back it up, I can see that continuing to drop. So if work doesn't bring us joy and unemployment is likely to rise due to automation and AI, how should society change? My thought is we need to progress past our current capitalist system. If you're interested to hear more of my thoughts on transitioning to a post-capitalist society, check out my video on that topic. One idea I had was maybe as a society, we need to temporarily protect certain types of tasks. Maybe artificially blocking a percentage of automation and AI from taking over high employment careers, or creating laws against using AI and automation to profit in creative pursuits might allow humans an opportunity to continue to either be employed or find purpose, value, and direction in these productive opportunities. I feel like there will always be some jobs, some work that we will want or need humans for. I feel like our society is not designed for mass unemployment, so we need to decide how we want to handle that potential outcome sooner rather than later. I feel like more free time that doesn't negatively impact my quality of life is a good thing. I want more time to spend doing the things I love, spending time with the people I love, and growing as a person in my understanding of myself. What do you want the future of work to look like? Do you see a way for society to shift towards a more positive relationship with work? Let me know in the comments below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.